Honduras is quickly becoming one of the most popular destinations of ecotourism. Most of its territory is pristine nature yet to be explored. To learn more about Honduras' natural wonders, I have Juan Carlos Paz. This 22-year-old red hair is sort of the Honduran version of Indiana Jones, exploring the most remote corners of his country. He will take me inside the National Park Cusuco, a cloud forest where he feels at home. Located in the heart of the Merendon Mountains, this nature reserve used to be unknown for most Hondurans, including locals like Juan Carlos. His love affair with nature came by chance 4 years ago when he convinced his cousin to go on a hiking trip.
The first time we came to this place, we didn't know it existed. We were walking, we were supposed to be walking for two hours, and we ended up walking for 4 days. We ended up finding scientific expeditions with scientists from around the world in the middle of the jungle, and we were like, oh, Jurassic Park, what's going on here? We're still finding new waterfalls, new pathways, new caves, and that's the cool thing, is that it's a new world.
As we get ready to explore this new world, Juan Carlos wants to make sure I know what to expect.
We have 3 stages. Stage number 1 is to get to the place. We never know if we're gonna get there. Stage number 2 is nothing to happen. We have to be prepared for every kind of improvise and adapt. And stage number 3 is to come back.
I am up to the challenge. We jump in a modified Jeep and begin driving through a narrow and winding dirt road along a steep cliff overlooking the beautiful panoramic views of the mountains. After a bumpy ride, we arrive in Buenos Aires, a small village near the entrance of the National Park Cusuco, and that is where our preparations for this expedition begin. Besides Juan Carlos, my Honduran entourage includes Andres, a photography aficionado, and Jorge, an off-road driving champion. Also joining us is Rene, a local guide who will lead us through the forest.
A beautiful park, vibrant. People get impressed here. We have things that other countries don't have. We are proud, and I tell other Hondurans to appreciate our own country and what we have, instead of waiting for others to tell us how amazing our country is. Just until now we have given it importance it deserves.
We begin our hike up a dirt road and soon make our way into the heart of the cloud forest. With every step, the vegetation becomes more dense and the hike more challenging. The creatures of the forest seem unafraid and even curious about us. There is a vast variety of plants, such orchids and exotic trees, including some species that Rene assures have been unearthed since the Jurassic period. This is a jungle labyrinth, but Rene appears to know exactly where we are. While walking in this pristine forest, one can't help but feel a deep connection to nature. There are no roads or bridges or anything that will make you feel you are anywhere near civilization. It is a far cry from the typical tourist eco-tour. It truly feels like an expedition into the unknown.
They're virgin, exotic, and that they don't have that many people walking around you, that you own this place when you are here.
Suddenly, deep into the forest, we encounter a base camp of an international scientific expedition called Wallacea Operation, an organization whose primary purpose is the preservation of nature.
The reason we were interested in Honduras was particularly because the cloud forest. There's only about 2% of all the forests in the world are cloud forests. It's one of the most endangered forest types, and Honduras has kind of the highest density of cloud forest than anywhere else in the world. So it made logical sense. If you want to do a cloud forest conservation project, Honduras is the place to come.
Every summer, students and academics settle in this cloud forest, whose ecosystems are the home of tremendous biodiversity.
Once you start getting to the higher realms of these mountain ranges, you're going to get a lot of endemic species, particularly in this mountain range in Merendon, in Cusuco National Park. We have a number of amphibian species, so salamanders and also frogs, that only exist in this park.
Honduras is not only a place to relax and appreciate nature, it's also a place for adventure. Cusuco National Park offers countless opportunities to trigger your adrenaline. It is time for some action. We start rappelling down a slippery and a steep slope, but instead of using ropes, we use the roots of plants to help us descend. Our effort is rewarded as we come face to face with a spectacular waterfall.
Absolutely breathtaking.
As we stand in awe, Juan Carlos decides to bring a rope so we can rappel down the cliff next to the waterfall. He starts descending with me, and at one point he lets me do it on my own. I go down and I can no longer hear his instructions. Close to the bottom, it is time to jump into the cold water where Andres waits for me. I swim against the current and finally make it to the shore. Soon after, we return to the adventure mode and prepare to complete our journey in Cusco as we hop on our mountain bikes and ride down some steep and muggy paths, enjoying the outdoors in total harmony with nature. Juan Carlos believes responsible tourism makes a difference in the lives of the people who live in the village.
If we have a good direction towards the villages are going to know they can earn money from tourism and protect the park. Earn more money as a guide, renting a horse, doing food, and meeting people from around the world.
Before returning to the city, we make a last stop. We enjoy a beautiful sunset, looking at a sea of clouds trapped among mountains. And just as it happened to Juan Carlos 4 years ago, I end up bewitched by Honduras.